The Obama administration's top cops meeting today with their Mexican counterparts, looking for ways to beat back the drug cartels and try to shut off the flow of weapons into Mexico. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, among others, like the folks from the New York Times and the Washington Post, who blame America for that gun crisis, saying 90% of the illegal weapons used in Mexico's drug wars come from the U.S. But in a Fox News exclusive, our research shows that number is just plain wrong. William Lajeunesse joins us live from a firing range in Paulden, Arizona, where law enforcement trains. What are you finding, William?
Well, John, that 90% figure is inaccurate, and it's wildly overstated. And we have not seen a very aggressive effort on the part of ATF to correct the record, those in the administration and those in the media. In fact, and I actually am going to show you where this number comes from, and we have a full screen, I believe. The Deputy Director of ATF said last year, before the House of Representatives, and I'm quoting, over 90% of the firearms either recovered in or interdicted on their way to Mexico originated in the United States. That is not true. Now, just earlier this year, he did say 90% of those guns that are traced come from the United States. That's an entirely different thing, and I'll tell you why. According to the Mexican Attorney General, in the last 2 years, they've recovered about 30,000, 29,000 weapons in Mexico. They've submitted about only 1/3 of those to the United States for tracing. And according to testimony that we have from the special agent in charge in Phoenix of the ATF, only about 6,000 of those were successfully traced, and about 90% of those came from the U.S. But basically the bottom line here is that according to our figures, which according to we got from them, 83% of the guns that have been recovered in Mexico at these crime scenes are not from the United States. John?
Well, that certainly it goes in contrast to some of the other figures we've been hearing. Why the disparity?
Right. Well, one reason is it's basically the sampling issue. Number one, Mexico is finding guns at the crime scene which may have no markings at all. They may be clearly a Chinese or a Russian weapon, and so they're not submitting those to the United States for, quote, tracing. A U.S. weapon has a serial number on it, a manufacturer on it, it says where it is made. So clearly Mexico is not going to give over weapons to the U.S. for tracing, which clearly don't come from here. Now, we had a ICE official, special agent in charge here in Phoenix, tell us, and I'm quoting from him, not every weapon seized in Mexico has a serial number. Not those are not submitted. Only we trace weapons with U.S. markings. So clearly this is the issue. But the problem is there's this idea out there that's been perpetrated by many in the administration that there's straw buyers buying these weapons down in El Paso and Phoenix and sending them down to the cartels, and they're being used there. That is inaccurate. There's many weapons coming from the black market, Central America, Guatemala, etc. John, to you.
William Lajeunesse, thank you.